That is Edmonton's new mayor-elect, Amarjeet Sohi. His victory was by a wide margin over his nearest competitor, Mike Nicol. The victory marks a return to City Hall for Sohi, that after more than 229,000 Edmontonians voted. We go live now to reporter Darcy Ropchan, who was there when victory was declared.
Thank you, Carly. We are live outside the Matrix Hotel where Amarjeet Sohi's victory speech took place just about an hour and a half ago. He thanked his supporters, his friends, his family. It was a small election event tonight with COVID protocols only open to a select few people, including media. Now, a part of Sohi's acceptance speech this evening involved calling on the province to help support the city.
As we recover from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, we need to be there for each other. And we want our provincial government to be there with us too. We want them to be there to fight the fourth wave of COVID. We want them to be there for us to end houselessness, to help support mental health, and to fight a drug poisoning epidemic that is claiming the lives of our neighbors, friends, and family members at a record and unconscionable rate.
Now, of course, this was a very contentious mayoral race at certain times. In his acceptance speech, so he said he's here to govern the people who voted for him and also the people who didn't. Reporting live from downtown Edmonton, Darcy Ropchan, City News.
Now, we know the mayor is just one vote on council, and Mayor-elect Sohi will have some new faces joining him in City Hall, along with brand new ward boundaries and Indigenous names for each ward. Let's take a look at the results for this hour. Now, looking at ward NAKOTA ISGA, which is in West Edmonton, think Glenora past the Henday, incumbent Andrew KNACK has a healthy lead, and as it stands now is to be re-elected. Moving on to North Edmonton riding of Anirnia from Inglewood to High Park, a bit of an upset for the incumbent there. As it stands now, ERIN Rutherford is leading with 26% of the vote, with incumbent Councillor Bev Esslinger holding on to 24% in this tight race. Now into Ward tastawiyiniwak, which is another North riding, also looking at an upset for the incumbent. PRINCIPE is leading with 38% over incumbent John Zydak with 30%. Now, a note here, PRINCIPE is the wife of Sportsnet reporter Dean Principe, and Sportsnet is owned by Rogers Communication, which is also the owner of City TV. Now, Ward Dene, which is in northeast Edmonton, that's east of 66th Street, Councillor Aaron Paquette has a healthy lead as he's primed to regain his seat on council for a second term. Now, looking at downtown Edmonton, what is now O'Dayman, Ann Stevenson is leading with 26% of the vote. This is also an upset. We had an incumbent running, although it was with different ward boundaries, Tony Catarina, and he's right now in third place for this ward. Now, Ward Métis, which is in East Edmonton, this is a crowded race with no incumbent, but as it stands now, Ashley Salvador is leading with 34% of the vote. Now, as we take a look in southwest Edmonton at Ward sipiwiyiniwak, which we have another incumbent holding on to their seat. This is Councillor Sarah Hamilton with a large lead for her second term. Now to Ward Papasteo in South Central Edmonton, which is the ward that includes White Ave. We have Michael Jans in the lead with 41% of the vote. You'll recognize his name from school board. He seems to be moving on to council now. Now, in Ward Pihesawin, which is between the North Saskatchewan and White Mud Creek, we have incumbent Tim Cartmel with more than 81% of the vote, so another familiar face on councillor. Now we're taking a look now at Ward Ipikokenipiatsi. This ward is too close to call. Jennifer Rice with 32.44% of the vote and Rihanan Hol with 32.17% of the vote. So we'll keep watching that. It'll probably come down to those advanced polls. Now, next ward, we have Garahio. And this ward, we have Karen Tang in the lead with 40% of the vote. Now, as we look at another ward here, this is Spomi Tapi for the next ward here. Joanne Wright is leading over incumbent Mo Banga with 34% of the vote. So there